sorry about that, y'all. I had to change my station so I could get up here and talk to y'all. Sorry about that. Um, but I wanted to get on here and say first hi. Uh, say hi and just explain a couple of things to people. Okay. If you're going through this probably can help you. God sends you to this message. Understand it, it's not by an accident. I'm gonna start off by telling y'all how God told me to quit my job as a flight attendant in 2012. Okay. And so I was really afraid, and I'm like, God, like, is this really you, God? I knew it was God because it was like a voice, like you know the voice, but you don't, like you never heard that voice before, kind of like that. Like you know it, like everything's responding to it. You know, if you're somebody that you don't know talk to you and you say, hey, and they, even if they started, you be like, who is this? I don't know you, but it was like, it was not like that. And so, I was, during that time, I want to say 2011, I was coming to myself. I was coming to myself as far as finding out who I am as a person and what I wanted to do in my life and what I wanted to serve. Now, even though I have been in the aviation industry for years, I love flying, y'all. I love traveling, y'all. That's something that I love to do. I love serving people. And so being a flight attendant was an easy breezy thing for me. It was really great because it showed off a lot of my talents, and I was able to know what people, what they like to do as far as their drinks. I could pinpoint it right off the back. I knew how strong this person was, if they worked out, if they didn't. You can even tell certain things about their financial situations on how people act. Like, that's how in tune I was with my job. I try to learn as much as I can. When I'm into something, I'm in it, y'all. Like, that's why it takes me a minute to dive into something when I'm kind of nervous about it. Usually I'll take a risk, but if I feel kind of antsy about it, I'm going to take some time because I'm an all-in type of person. Like, I try to find the ins and outs and things that I don't know, or I think I need to learn something else more about it. I'm going to try to do that, okay? And so, shoot. When God was telling me that I wasn't going to be doing that and I was going to be helping people and all this, I was just like, whoa, like, wait a minute. Like, God, that's not me. I was literally talking to God like, maybe I'm tripping. First, I was like, maybe I'm tripping. That ain't God. Then I started, when God reassured me it was him, I started negotiating, y'all. Because helping people is not an easy task. I have a lot of family members that are in the service field. Therapists, educators, a lot of people who are servants in the community, like real true servants. And I was like, I don't want no parts of it, y'all. Like, when I say I don't want no parts of it, I don't want no parts of it because it takes a lot out of you, because you put your heart and everything, your spirit and everything into it, your time, your energy, you put your family into it. Your family always gets involved, okay? Because it's taking time away from you and your family to do this, so they got to be on board. If they not, you're going to have hell to pay, okay? Because they don't understand the plan. So I was just like, this is going to be hard. I've seen that. So I just was bargaining like, God, maybe you talking about my grandma, because my grandma, she on that. She on that. That's what she wanted to do. She wanted to have a lot of kids. She always wanted to help people, and that's what she did. And that's her. That's her. That's not me. I want to live in a single family unit. Yo, I always wanted to be a single family person. Like, I know that sound kind of messed up, but that's the truth. Now, I always knew that I was going to be married. I always knew that because I was shown that. Like, God literally spoke that to me when I was very young. So I knew that, I accepted it. But I tried to enjoy every single moment being by myself, y'all. I ain't got to share nothing. I don't got to do none of that, y'all. I had to share a lot when I was young. Y'all, gone. You can have it. You can have it, okay? If you want it, hey, you can have it. Okay, but don't get off topic. Anywho, shoot. I know she was prophesying. You can have all this. That's how I was talking to God. Then I, surrendered and was like, okay. But I still was hesitant. God had told me by December, I was not going to be flying for this airline. And And I was like, oh, okay. So I started preparing myself. This was like, I want to say July, August. God kept telling me, get up, leave, get up. And I was like, every time I would put in my 2 weeks, I'll pull it back and be like, you know what? Well, what am I going to do with my job? How am I going to make a living? How am I going to do these things? Like, people are going to be looking at me like I'm crazy. I got bills out of the woo-ha. I got car notes. I got an apartment. I got a business. I had a business making infinity scarves, y'all. And it made a good amount of money, but I got all this going on. Like, how, God? Like, where I'm gonna go? Like, let's be logical. That's all I kept saying. Let's be logical, because I'm thinking in my linear mind. And yeah, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Once I started doing it, they would tick me off. I'd be like, you know what? I'm out of here. I am so out of here. Like, and I would go and be hesitant and pull it back. So God started making stuff be so uncomfortable. I remember this guy. Before I left, it was a guy that tried to spit on me. They ended up putting him off the plane because he called me a B. Not because he called me the N-word, because the airline that I worked for, they did not care if somebody called. And this was a commercial major airline, okay? They did not care if somebody, they didn't think that was offensive. But they did think that being called the B word was offensive. Okay, so they could get placed off the plane for that. Okay, this was, mind you, y'all, this airline, then, I'm not even going to get into detail with it. But anyhow, this is what they felt. So, even though he called me that, even though, you know, all that happened and he was talking all kind of mess, he did not get put off that aircraft until he called me the B word and spit in my direction. And I had to move out the way. And then that was... that was almost all. That should have been the final straw, but that wasn't, y'all. That wasn't. I stayed, and they tried to blame me for it because I held the man up. You know, somebody try to attack you and do something, your whole reflex is to grab somebody. Like, my reflex, I just start strangling the man. Okay, I grabbed him like boom, like I was back in the streets. Like, y'all, like, no. This, like, can't have it. And so, you know, I had to go through a lot during that time, y'all. And I was just thinking, like, you know, even though my other flight attendants had my back because they was way far on the other side, he waited till he got in the corner, till I was by myself in the corner to go and jump something off. But, and on top of that, I was grateful because the customers had my back, because they was like, you was beyond nice. Like, I was trying to calm the man down because he was just drunk and all out of his mind. But it still doesn't replace what he did. But anyhow, I was just like, okay, all this, you know, and the company that I worked for was giving me all types of hell for it, y'all. Like, all types. It took a long process for me to even get vindicated and to get the time that they had me off to get it back. And it was no sorry, no nothing, you know. And I was just like, God, what is going on? What is this? You know, and God was just reminding me to, like, take it off. So I remember, what did they tell me? Oh yeah, I got on social media then, and I was like, put it up there. I had put on there, I was like, you know, I got so vexed and was telling them how they didn't have my back. And everybody was like, dang, that's kind of messed up. Maybe that's God's way of telling you to leave. Now I'm like, oh man, God puts you out there uncomfortable. Okay, cool, whatever. And, on that last day in December, it was December 12th. It was December 12th. I got a notice saying that I was laid off. Then I went on because I was like, well, maybe, you know, this has happened before and they had us go back to work and it's no big deal. Y'all, I want to say about 9 days later, which was the 21st, they confirmed it. And that's when it felt like my life was like going upside down. Hey, we got the same car, twinsies. And so, and we got the same little, that's the car that went in it. Okay. And so, you know, things just started changing. I literally had no um no means to do anything, y'all. Anything I would put my hand to, it was not going. Okay, I still was upbeat. I still was like, okay with it. Let me go ahead and just, work my business. My business was making, at the time, that business was making enough for me to live off of, for sure. Making those scarves. Like, there was even a point in time before this had all kicked off that I was making more money with the scarves than flying. And so, and this was before everybody had AI. This is before everybody had a website selling overpriced services. This is before all of that. And so, I'm like, okay, I had a place in Chicago. I had a place in Gary too, y'all. I don't even know. Well, yeah, because I didn't want to drive. Didn't want to drive. And I wanted to be close to the lakefront as possible. And in Gary, you could get something for about $900, $1,000. Be close to the lakefront, really close, versus paying $3,000. Now it's like about 45, 5,000 to be, close in Chicago at the lakefront. And so, that's what I was on. I was just like, okay, I can do this. And, if all those fails, I can work for other people. I know a lot of people who got, places and they have buildings, they have, they need workers. So I'll be okay. I was an auxiliary member at the hospitals. A lot of people, they really, like me, of course, because I always donated, but things changed then. And so, yeah, I was just like, okay. And then I got closer to God, like, okay, God, show me what it is that you want me to do. Show me what it is that you want me to do. And God put me on this journey. God put me on this journey, like things are transitioning, and how you need to get your life to get, like how your life is very important in the process of helping other people. You really still have to do this. You still have to do this. Like, it's no turns away from it. Like, you gotta do it. And so, I just went on and I answered the call. But I'll tell you, it was not easy. I ended up, I was homeless for a minute. Got back on my feet. Was homeless again. Had to relocate. It was a trying time. Like, I don't want to, because a lot of people would try to act like it's, when you are called to do something, it's just going to happen lickety split. No, you go through a lot of tests and a lot of trials, and people will look at you like you just lost your mind. You're going to look like you lost your mind. When I say you're going to look like, I ain't saying you might not look physically like it, but you going to, the stuff when you tell your testimony, you should have lost your mind, And so, I went through that process. Okay. So coming full circle right now, I talked to y'all about what God was telling me about about yesterday, and what I was going through, and everything. And God was revealing to me that some of the people that I was around was really doing some evil stuff to me. And this was the reason why I could not move up. I could not move up. I couldn't do stuff because I was just like, God, why is this happening? Why I can't apply to over 200 jobs knowing that I'm overqualified, underqualified, just in the middle, and I'm sure be getting these jobs. And they'll say no, or I get it. And then all of a sudden, when I show up the day of, they saying no. Why am I having all these health problems all of a sudden? Like, what is going on? And so, God got it into my spirit about transitioning again, transitioning. And when I say, if y'all hearing this, y'all, and y'all, it resonate with y'all, y'all know God is telling y'all the same doggone thing. So don't deny it. Do not deny it. Because God is transitioning his people. Okay? And this transition, it was almost like the last one. The last one, I had to leave my job. People didn't understand that. I've had many times when God tell me to get up and leave a job, to stay there. And I'll stay there for 3 weeks. And they be like, you just hopping. Because they don't understand the power and what God told you. If God told you to do something, you do not have to explain to anyone, because it's God who promotes and demotes, okay? I'm just at that point in my life, like, You have to listen to your intuition. You have to listen to what the Holy Spirit inside of you is telling you to do. If he is telling you to leave a job, I don't care. I know a lot of old people are going to say, well, what you going to do without having a job? What you going to do? I'm going to hustle to go get what I need, you know? And a lot of those people are not understanding the time. They don't understand the calling that's over your life anyway. You know, but if, like I said, and there's some people who just want to quit a job because they just don't want to do nothing. If that's you, then this is not for you. This is not for you. But I'm talking about if God called you to do this, don't be afraid. Let me tell you, I had a bit of fear, but I remember what God did for me back when. I remember when I didn't have nothing. God told me to go to this apartment that I'm in now, the condo that I'm in right now. I did not have anything. Matter of fact, I was working at McDonald's. Not McDonald's. I was working at Rally's, y'all. And it just killed me because I was just like, me working at Rally's, it made me chuckle a little bit because when I was in high school, I wanted to work at Rally's. Rally's was literally across the street from me. I didn't have to worry about getting no transportation. None of that. I could work all the time. And the person who was over that was like, oh, well, she's not going to be a good fit. And she didn't know math. And I'm sitting here like, okay, how is that even possible? Y'all, I was an honor student, okay? I already had college credits before I went into the 9th grade. Okay, so I'm putting that out there, not to say that I'm super smart and I'm better than, I'm just stating facts, okay? And they hired somebody who didn't even have, was on a 5th grade math level, you know, was on a 5th grade math level. And I was just like, what the heck, what's going on? They lived far away from that location. They hired that person. And we were still cool. I ain't had no animosity towards them because I was like, at least they got a job. You know, eventually I'll give me a job, which I ended up working at Walmart, y'all. I ended up getting a better job. Then they was like, fast food was paying like $5 or something. Walmart paid me $7 right off the bat when minimum wage was $5 and something, you know. So, telling that age, huh? And so, and I kept getting promoted. So, God has everything to happen. But I remember going into this place. And these condos, this was before I started going into my field. God did tell me he was going to change my name. He was going to change my title and all that other stuff. And I believed him, but I was nervous. I'm not going to sit here and say I wasn't nervous because you've been told by the creator what's going to happen, but you're looking at what you're seeing, and what you're seeing is not matching what he is telling you, okay? But I promise you, believe, because what he says has trumped over every single thing anybody on in heaven, earth, or in hell got to say. When God says it, it's God. I don't give a care if your boss and he owns all this and he a multi-million. I don't care. God put him right there. Okay, go. That's the source. Follow him. Okay. God told me to put in this application for this place. Okay, and let it be that, right? And so I did that. I did just that. I was scared. I did it. And I was doubting a little bit. I heard this thing from Brother Eli Lassie. And it's so crazy because the same time that he moved into his place was the same time that I moved into my place. Okay? And this was his first place because he done moved into a whole nother place too. And so he was like, don't doubt, he was talking about how God had told him to go to this place, go to this, they was looking for a house, they couldn't get a house, to go to the place. Get into this place. And they was like, they couldn't even afford it. They knew they couldn't have, it was no way. Like, and all of a sudden God made a way. That's exactly what happened to me, y'all. Okay, I applied for the place. I was going for a 1-bedroom. I had me and my dog. And the reason why I left out of the place before the last one is because they said I could have a dog and then I couldn't have one. And I was like, no, my dog has been with me so much. Like, she's giving me so much love and care. Like, I was not letting my dog go. Like, I'm just not. I'm with her, she with me, And so, I decided to take a leap of faith and just do it. Like, if God said it, and I repented to God, even when I was fearful, and I was like, I ain't gonna get it. When I doubted, that's when it was going away. Once I said, okay, I surrender, I believe. Let me tell you, 5 minutes later, that lady said, come and get your place. And not only did I didn't have a 1-bedroom, I had a 2. And I had one of the largest bedrooms in that whole building. in the whole building. People were so jealous of me. Like, it was just so crazy. And they knew I didn't go and show them. And I was one of the four. They had how they had the apartments. They was all, it's one building, but they all look different because they had the older building. It's like an older building. It used to be a factory, but they connected it to a new and extended it to the new building. Well, the new building, I thought I was gonna, I wanted to be back there, and I was like, even if I don't have one with windows outside, because some people don't even have windows to the outside. And I was like, I'll stay, I'm fine as long as I have a place. I'm grateful. And she was like, no, we're going to make sure you have windows so you can see. And so I wasn't facing the park, the new park that we have. I was facing the other way. I wanted to face the park, but I was like, okay, it's all right. And but I had the archways. Everybody was looking for either the long big windows or the archways. The big windows, it was like about 64 of them, but they could see through the back and they could see through the other way. Mind y'all, I didn't, if you look at the other videos, I told y'all I had a building. It's another building, apartment building, that blocked the view of everybody else on the thing. So the only view that wasn't blocked was my view. I ended up with I started out with the 96 best view and ended up with the third best view. Okay. And it's only two people who have better views than me, and that's the two people that are above me. And so, so I ended up getting this apartment. Now I had arch windows. I still have these arch windows. And, God was just constantly telling me, just have faith, and when I got in there, I just praised. I was just like, thank you, God. Thank you, Lord. Like, you made a way. Okay. And so I'm saying this because, I'm noticing other transitions that are in my life. And, I'm noticing other transitions in my life, but I'm able to say that I trust God with everything that I have because he's all that I have, and I'm grateful that he's all that I have because everything that I get comes from him. And if I know that it comes from him, it's not there to hurt me. It's not there to hurt me. Some of the things that I thought that I needed were actually hurting me. Some of the people who I was around, who I thought was there for me, did not have my best interest at heart. They just saw what I could get. They could see they was even smarter than me, especially spiritually. A lot of those people knew that God was with me and wanted to connect to me. Okay. And that's some of y'all going through the same thing. Some people know doggone well that God is with you. He is with you no matter what. And they want a piece. They not going to tell you they want a piece, but they definitely want a piece. Okay. They definitely want a piece. And it's up to you. It is so up to you to understand that, like, to understand that, to go with God and understand that, what God has for you is for you, and that's the best thing for you. When you understand that, you're able to release, because the enemy will see that you're moving. First, he'll try to get you stagnant. If he can't get you stagnant and stop you, or he'll try to slow you down. If he can't slow you down, he's going to throw things that look very similar. And once you get to that point in settlement with God, you can understand, okay, this might have been for me before, but this is not for me now. This is not for me now. And so, yeah, trust God. Trust God. That's what I want to say. Trust God. Trust God. If he tell you to leave, a job, I got something better for you. Don't try to hold on to that job and say, well, this job it's giving me money right now. I ain't got no other place to do. Listen, that's when God does his best. Other people might not see that. And sometimes you can't tell everybody what God is doing in your life, because when he shows up and show out, because you got to face, some people know that God is, a lot of them know that God does what he does. They know when you walk into your purpose, he's going to send people to you, especially if you're in the right timing and it's just what God told you, baby. He done already provided it for you. So some of these people will be looking like and try to throw some stunts in your way, try to make you get discouraged. I told you, the enemy, he gonna work through people. He gonna try to slow you down. Oh no, you should be able to hold on to this job. Now you're trying to hold on to a job that's giving you pennies on the dollar. And God is telling you to take this leap of faith, because if you walk over here and you be free from this job, it's going to give you enough energy where you're going to be able to recuperate and show up full force to the point where you're going to be able to get the job that you want. The job that he has assigned you for the mission. For the mission, y'all. Okay? I had to learn that so hard, like, because you're like, oh, I want this now, I want that. No, 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 no. No, no, no. When you are a new creation in God, that's what you got to do. You got to go to God. You got to go to God. God supply all your needs. That's exactly what he going to do. That's exactly what he going to do. Oh, y'all, I forgot to tell y'all. It's a little bit off topic, but I'm going to tell y'all. Not really, because it's about trusting God and trusting the process. And God had told me to pay for the Y membership or whatever and go back again. I was like, man, I should go back to Planet Fitness, blah, blah, this. But I knew I needed the sauna. The sauna is really, really helpful when you are trying to detoxify and you want to get stuff out of your body. And a lot of people are getting more hip to that. A lot of the people who have been wealthy have been already doing that. But if you live in like Mediterranean places, if you lived in the hood, a lot of that stuff people don't even acknowledge, that they don't even know that they doing it, but they doing it automatically. When you stay in the sun, people, oh, blah, blah, no, especially black people, we need the sun, bruh. We need the sun. Okay? Heating our bodies up and getting all those toxins out of your body. You know, getting all this stuff out of your body. And you start feeling on a whole different thing. So God had told me to, go back there, and I'm like, okay, I spent my money. It cost a little bit more. And I had to pay a re-entry membership fee, and I was just like, ooh, like, but I was like, okay, God, you know what? That's just a lesson learned. Make the best of it. You told me to do this. I'm going to do it, right? I'm going to do it. Because you in control. Y'all, I went every day. I started working on my abs, right? I'm like, and people was laughing like, you ain't even got no abs. You got rolls. You got a whole gut. Like, I do, y'all. Because that's what I've been doing. I've been picking out lately. As soon as it's not competition time, I'm picking out. And so I started, I was like, dang, I don't even see no results, but I'm going to keep doing it. Kept working, kept exercising. Of course, I'm going to see it in my legs first. You always see it in the things that you use the most. I saw it in my legs. I saw my arms because I'm moving my arms. My shoulders have always kind of been strong because I use my shoulders a lot. So I was doing stuff for my back, and my stomach, it was taking a minute. But when I got up today, and I hadn't worked out, did I work out yesterday? I did, but I didn't go really hard. And so when I looked at it today, I could see a definite difference how my body is shaping and it's coming in, y'all. And so that's why I said trust the process. And it was so shocking because, I went through this process before, but my stomach hadn't been that big, or I always had to lose the weight down and then start going and training, meaning doing a lot of cardio, doing a lot of fasting, and then going and training. But this time, since I had the weight, I wanted to get more muscle. And then drop off the weight later on. And reason behind that, because I want to look a little bit more toned for this competition, because I'm going to get really serious. People try to play, you got to get real serious, like tap them, let them know, because people would think that you some kind of punk. They'll think you some kind of punk, and not to be on the funny stuff. You know how people try to play you. Oh, well, somebody got a disability, or they live in this place, so poor little them. They live in poverty, or they live this. People always try to second guess. Them be the ones that's gonna come and get you because they hungry, baby. You ain't hungry. You living relaxed. You go and take a day off. They're gonna be working every single day, like, to get where they at, because they know where they coming from. Like, I want y'all to know that. So anyhow, but I saw the difference. So I was just like, okay, and this gave me more encouragement. Like, trust the process. God is working. Trust. I will trust in the Lord. I will trust in. Used to be singing them old songs, but it makes sense. Trust him until you die. That's all you get, especially in this world. That's ever changing, even though everything is the same. Yeah, even the technology is the same. It's the same technology. Nothing is new under the sun. Nothing. Nothing. But whatever. But trust God. That's all I want to say, y'all. Get out here, do your thing, trust God. And most of all, keep your vibration up. Keep your spirit up, keep your vibration up. If it's somebody that's trying to pull something, not my portion. Go over there. I ain't saying no return to sender prayers, but you can return that back to your originator. You're not bringing that energy over here. If you ain't trying to work, because y'all, a lot of people are trying to bring that negative energy when they see you coming up. Because they don't want to work on themselves. No, baby. No. Can't come over here. You can't sit here. You better tell them, you can't sit here. Like off of Forrest Gump. Take it. Despair. Your seat next to me is taken. Poverty. Your seat next to me taken. You can't sit here. You can't sit here. For real. That's what you got to get in tune with. You have to get in tune with. Okay. Another thing, I'm gonna put this out on Front Street, because I'm gonna be honest with this one. This one just really took me. This one really took me for a loop too. Some of these places, man, I told y'all about how I had a coworker who I helped get one of the side jobs I had to say what she wanted to say. But God brought this in my dreams yesterday about how people will set you up. How people at work will set you up, and how to know when to move. That's why I said, when God tell you to move, it can look like everything is going right. If God told you to move, he knows what's best for you. Move. He tell you don't go to work that day, and I'm not talking about being on no lazy stuff. I'm talking about God telling you not to move. Don't go. Okay? I got a sister right now. I got a half sister right now. No, what people say, half sister, whatever. She's not my mother's child, but she's my father's child. And she's older than me. She's one of the oldest, okay? And so, her and my brother are twins. She's been working for the airline. She works for United, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all this story because it's so prevalent, okay? And I know people are like, oh, blah, blah. Okay, so, she was on reserve. The flight 93, she was supposed to work on that flight. Somehow, she said she felt the inkling like God was telling her, do not go. She's talking to her husband. He's like, well, maybe you just getting upset. Maybe you antsy. And he stops. And she's like, well, I'm having this feeling. She said this so much. She's like, well, maybe that's God telling you not to go. So she calls in sick. Y'all know what happened. And at that time, I was not even a flight attendant then. I was in high school, okay? Okay? And this is what I'm telling y'all. What, because I know, and it sent her into a whole depression for a good minute, because you're like, okay, why me? And you're sitting there because you thinking like that was destined for my life. Like, sometimes you'll feel like she went through the process of, I felt like it was me. Like it was my fault. And it wasn't her fault. She didn't know what was going to happen, but she just had this inkling like God was just telling her, don't go to work, and, it changed her life. It did. And so, yeah, that's what I want to. It's showing you just like that. Okay, I know a lot of people who feel like they didn't feel like they had an eerie feeling of not going. Y'all look at Shaquilla Robinson. Look at that. Sometimes y'all you don't be thinking that, but man. But I had a feeling like that too, I want to say a couple of weeks ago. And it made me move around different. I was so glad that God was working with me, because I couldn't explain it. If I would have told anybody that was around, because they was so carnal-minded, I can honestly say they was carnal-minded. They would have been like, you tripping, blah, blah, this, whoop-de-whoop, ha, 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 this and that, right? Okay. And that's why I prayed and I listened to God. I didn't bargain with him. When he told me to move, one day I pulled up into the job. Let me tell you, I pulled up. I felt like I was being followed. This is what I'm going to say. I felt like I was being followed. And I knew I was being followed after this point, because I went a different way. I started seeing them going a different way. I hid. I waited a couple of minutes and then went to my place. I went to the job. And then when I started parking, I saw them park on the side. Okay. And I'm like, why is this black car parking right here? Like, what is really going on? God told me to get up and leave and go back the same way, but make one, instead of turning right, turn left. And I literally had to do that. And they was trying to go, when they was trying to follow me, I was ahead of them, and they tried to turn right, and I turned left. You see what I'm saying? Like, these type of things. I don't know what it was. I don't even care who and what it was. I just knew I had to listen to that voice. So trust it. Trust that process. Shoot. I know there's gonna be like, well, that could have been somebody giving you something. That could have been somebody. Listen, God don't lie. Holy Spirit don't lie. Some of y'all use ancestors and people on the other side, and a lot of them entities will tell them not to go, and they believe them. Listen, trust God. Trust God. Trust God. He never lies. He never lies. He never lies. I don't give a care if it's somebody that you known since grade school, somebody that you was y'all family. I've had that too. To the point where he's shown me that they are really jealous of me and don't like me. Like, don't like me. They don't like me. You know? They'll be bashing everything you do. Then little or not, they'll be doing the same thing. Come to you later. Oh, how do you do this? As soon as you help them, they go back to somebody else who doing the same thing as you. They gonna pay for them. Listen, they don't like you. Listen, learn how to move. Learn how to move. When God tell you to go, go. If he tell you to go and drop a job or all that, do it. Do it. Okay? Because God knows what he has for you. He knows what he has in store for you. He knows the plans that he has created for you. Do it and let it go. And then another thing I learned is that sometimes God don't even drop off. He don't even drop off. You wonder why you ain't getting the gifts, because God told you you're going to have these gifts, and you ain't did what he told you. You know, I had to repent myself. You didn't do what he told you. You're trying to let little boo-boo or little John sit right here and watch you, and so y'all can have a blessing, so you can mentor them and say, come on, little boo-boo. Come on, little John. Let me tell you, little John don't want nothing. Little John want to sit outside and smoke reefers. Reefers. He want to sit there and he want to do the same thing over and over and over again. And if you don't change, she's going to make it look like either you're with them, so the people who are supposed to be attaching to you are going to look at you in a whole different light, and you ain't got nothing to do with it, or they're going to bring you down to where you're going to be doing it. See what I'm saying? Like, you have to. This is not the time to even play or even waste or even stay with wayward people who ain't serious about their life or where it's going. Okay? It ain't. So on that note, because a lot of people are gonna hit it. They're gonna hit it, especially this next year coming up. People think, in the summer, y'all, yeah, they're gonna still have a little bit of space. Wait till the next year. That's when you'll really start seeing stuff kick off. But on that note, I'm gonna get off of here. Y'all have a good one. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem. Bye.